Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just fix my camera. Okay, here we go. And welcome to this Monday evening live session. And we are going to go deeper into the concept of FMEA. Okay, but before that, let's welcome the new members in the community. All the new members right now present in the room. Just identify yourself, just type me in the chat box, and let me start this session. Everybody, if you are a new member, just type me in the chat box and we all will, okay, Mr. Anuj is there. Who else is there as the new member? Okay, everybody just type welcome Mr. Anuj in the chat and we will start our session. A lot of people are yet to join. Today is a working day. We all know. Welcome, Anuj for this. So every Monday and Saturday we attend live and we go deeper into the concepts of Lean Six Sigma. The idea about conducting this live session is um, asking the questions, okay, have the direct interaction with the mentor, as well as going deeper into the concepts of Lean Six Sigma. Okay, that is what is the main topic about the discussion. Okay, so today, first let me just type welcome everybody. Else also you can type welcome in the chat, and we will start our session right away. Is my voice loud and clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. This is being recorded so that you can access this later as well. Okay, fantastic. Superb, superb. So today's topic is about traditional FMEA. This is something very interesting. So the first question is, what is FMEA? That is the first question. The second question is, okay, ticket. FMEA is failure modes and effects analysis. But then what is traditional FMEA? Is there any new modern FMEA as well? Okay, so all these things I'm going to decode today in this today's session. How many of you are aware of FMEA before? Just type me in the chat box if you are aware about FMEA. If you have heard about it, or if you have practiced it, or in your company you follow FMEA technique in identifying the risk and the potentials. Anybody in the room who is aware of FMEA and who have used FMEA before? Nobody? Okay. Anuj is there. Who else? Who else? Are you from auto industry, Anuj? By any means, just give me yes or no in the chat box. Okay. There are few people. Okay, you're from auto industry. Very good. Chalo. So let's start the journey because we have people from all other industries as well. So let me start. That's what I'm talking about. Traditional FMEA. And there are some fundamental changes in auto industry. They have already incorporated. So we have a separate session for the new modern FMEA. But today we are talking about the traditional FMEA, which is covered. Okay, you are in the pharmaceutical industry. All right. Okay. Okay. Super. So let me just share my screen and PowerPoint presentation is there. I'm going to share this PowerPoint presentation in the masterclass archive. Okay, all the new members, there is a folder in your, in your LMS system, learning management system. There you will find a folder called masterclass archive. Okay, and in that folder, you will find the recording of all the live sessions with the topic as well as with the date as well. Okay, so you can find today's recording as well for your future reference. And everybody, please save this number, which is our mentor's number. Everybody, please save this number. This is the mentor's WhatsApp number, not for calling. Anywhere you get stuck, anytime you get stuck, just send a WhatsApp message on this number and we will respond on that query, because we have found that WhatsApp communication is the fastest communication than email, etc. Okay. Of course, we cannot randomly pick up the calls because we have, our student base is expanding very drastically. So what we believe that if we give service to one person, we have to give the service to thousands of the people. Okay, so it is humanly impossible to pick up the call and answer immediately, spontaneously. So better to send a WhatsApp rather than email. WhatsApp responses are faster and you get immediately, you can see whether it has been read, it has been responded, so that get best use of this support provided by the mentors team. Okay, super. Chalo. So what is FMEA? FMEA is failure modes and effects analysis. Failure modes and effect analysis. Now, why it is used? What is that? That is what we are going to discuss today. And as I mentioned, it is a traditional FMEA I'm going to discuss, not the modern, because and then I will give you if you want to learn about modern FMEA, we have taken some classes in the past. That is something which you can refer later. Okay. Now, basically, FMEA comes from automotive industry. Okay, there are 5 core tools in automotive industry: APQP, FMEA, MSA, SPC, and PPAP. Let me just quickly touch upon this. Okay, so this is something like APQP and PPAP, which is briefly covered in our MBB program. Okay, and FMEA, MSA, and SPC are already part of our green belt, as well as control core tools, control plan is also added. Yes. So green belt and the black belt training program. See what happens, all these are for the automotive industry to follow, but not for the other general industry. So general industry still follow the old FMEA. They still follow the old realms of it. But generally, what I mean to say is these are the core tools, and FMEA is one of them, which is failure modes and effect analysis, which we are going to discuss today. Okay. So FMEA, MSA, and SPC. SPC meaning, if you remember, control charts. Everybody, do you remember control charts? Yes, everybody. Control charts, do you remember? Yes, just type yes, no in the chat box. Control charts, stability test, what we do, correct? We do process capability analysis. Yes, the normal distribution curves, all these things comes into statistical process control. MSA, if you remember gauge R&R and attribute agreement analysis, just type yes in the chat box. If you have been through even green belt also, you would know this gauge R&R and AAA, which is a part of MSA, measurement system analysis. Okay. APQP, PPAP, I'll just touch upon this quickly. But this is how they have basically adopted from the automotive sector and followed in the other industries as well. Okay. So when it comes to APQP, what is APQP? I'll just quickly brief about this, which is advanced product quality planning. Okay. It is a structured approach to product development and manufacturing process. Manufacturing process planning, ensuring the quality is built into the product right from the initial stage itself. Because most of the times what happens is whenever there are quality challenges we observe, those quality challenges are those are basically ingrained in the DNA or the design of the product itself, or the process which basically converts the raw material into finished good and to make that product. So either the design of the product or the the process which makes that product. In that, those challenges, those quality challenges, basically the root causes basically lie in that. That's why advanced product quality planning ensures that the quality of the product is ensured right from the initial stages itself. Okay. Then comes failure mode and effect analysis, a systematic method of identifying, assessing potential failure modes and their impact on the product performance, safety, and the reliability. Now, this is what we are going to go deeper today into today's session. So FMEA is nothing but, in this process, what are the various risks associated? What are the modes? Failure mode meaning the way in which the product can fail. The way in which that product can fail, those various types of failure modes we can identify and take action about it. We can assess the effect of it as well. We give specific ranking, which we are going to discuss about severity, occurrence and detection. So FMEA is basically a risk analysis tool which analyzes the risk in the process in this product so that we analyze it beforehand and take some measure to counter that. Okay. Then comes the measurement system analysis, as I mentioned to you, GRR, gauge R&R, and AAA. See, the very new people in the system, when you go through the green belt curriculum, you will come to in the measure phase itself. Okay, you will find out measurement system analysis, gauge R&R, and AAA. Okay, so basically, measurement system analysis is a technique to evaluate and ensure the accuracy, precision, and reliability of the measurement system. In short, there is some variation induced by the measurement system, and to measure that variation induced by the measurement system, basically we have this technique of GRR and AAA. Generally, it is started in automotive sector, but in manufacturing and service sector also it is used. Then comes the statistical process control. As I mentioned to you, the quality, control, the control charts, etc. So the methodology involves monitoring and controlling the processes through use of statistical techniques, ensuring, it operates within the control limits. If you remember that control chart, upper control and lower control limit, if the process flows within the control limit, that is a stable process. Okay. So statistical process control ensures that the process remains stable and within the control. So this is how SPC basically phases out. So see, these three tools, which I mentioned earlier, FMEA, MSA, and statistical process control, these three tools are already there in the green belt and the black belt levels. Okay. And APQP and PPAP, which is PPAP, which I'm going to talk about this, product part approval process. These are briefly covered in the master black belt curriculum. Okay. Because these are predominantly used in automotive sectors, OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, and their tier 1, tier 2 suppliers. Okay. But even though it is originated and very strongly practiced in the automotive sector, but still it is useful in all other industries as well. It is useful in pharma industry, even banking industry, even in BPO industry, whichever manufacturing industry, any industry you can take. These processes are very, very powerful. So the last one is PPAP, which is production part approval process. It's a standardized process of approving, validating the production parts and the processes, ensuring that they meet the required specification. Okay. So, and the quality scandal. So it's like you take a small scale, a pilot run, and then you make sure that all the parts, all the processes, followed properly. All the settings were done properly. The product is matching the specification set by the customer. Once it is approved, then only you go for the full scale production. Once that is approved, then only you can go for full scale production. So this is called PPAP. So these are the 5 major core tools, used in the automotive sector, out of which I just bifurcated. Most of them are used in our green belt, black belt curriculum as well. And the PPAP and APQP are used in our master black belt curriculum. Okay. Now let's talk about FMEA. FMEA is, as I mentioned to you, failure modes and effects analysis. So this is originated in 1950s in US military, specifically in aerospace and defense industry. Okay. So after that, it was further refined and expanded in 50s and 16s, and they started using in NASA. Now understand this, and other automotive industry. Now NASA and automotive industry are the industries where very important part is the precision. Okay. Accuracy, precisions are very, very critical parts, because if anything happens, let's say anything happens to the NASA satellites or a rocket or whatever, project, it runs into billions. Even in automotive industry, anything goes wrong, it directly impacts the life of the people, the people traveling in that automobile, as well as the people on the road. Everybody will be at risk. So these two areas, this is very, very important to identify the risk very well before and take some corrective measures. Okay. Then in 70s, FMEA gained broader recognition, for risk assessment and prevention tools in various industries. So 70s was the era where it was basically spread across the industry. The industry started liking this. And then Automotive Industry Action Group. So if you remember this, AIAG. Okay. So they introduced in 1980s, because it was, this body got established in 1982, and they basically published the first manual of FMEA, AIAG FMEA manual, which basically became a reference guidance manual for all these things. And then again, it got revived again. But recently, what has happened is, see, American automotive industry and German automotive industry, both automotive industries are different. So let me just see, today's session, what I'm talking about is a traditional FMEA. So what is the difference between traditional FMEA and your, your modern FMEA? That is something, let me touch upon it. Okay. So what happens is, let me just give a quick bifurcation about this. So there is one part of it which is a US based companies. Now that body is called AIAG. The name is Automotive Industry Action Group. Okay. The second body is Germany based body. So US based is AIAG. The German based is VDA. Okay. Now, VDA is actually, it's a German word which is Verband der Automobilindustrie. Verband der Automobilindustrie. Now, we did not to remember this, but just for your information, Verband der Automotive Industry. It is the full form of VDA, and Automotive Industry Action Group is the full form of this. So these are the two bodies basically. Now, AIAG is recently, it is a new body. German body is a very old body, 1901 or 1902 it was established. Okay, so it was a very old body. Now if you see who are the big brands of US which are the member of AIAG, it is like General Motors, all the big brands, the Fords. Okay, all the US brands. Can you just name few US brands for me? And you have the Chrysler, and you have what? Chevrolet, right? And you have now Tesla also is a part of this, because Tesla is an American company. So they are the US brands. Okay. When it comes to German brands, the brands like you have got BMW, then Audi, then you have Mercedes, and you have what? Porsche. Or these are, German brands. What else? Volkswagen. So VW. So all these are German bodies. Now, US bodies, AIAG used to, set up a new, their norms were a little different than the German norms. So what happens in recently 2019? Okay, that's what I said. It's a traditional FMEA we are learning today. In 2019, let me write here. What has happened is, in 2019, AIAG and VDA jointly published FMEA 5th edition, just for your information. And this is what I'm talking about, the newest form of FMEA. Now this is, see, these bodies are governing the automotive industries basically. Okay. So whatever standards they are basically talking about are mandatory for all the automobile companies, as well as all the tier 1 suppliers and tier 2 suppliers, tier 3 suppliers, like that. So whoever is concerned, whoever is a stakeholder in automotive industry, this is basically is applicable to them. Other industries definitely can use it as well, but it is not mandatory for them to use. Okay, so right now what has happened is, all the automotive industry has adopted these new practices. Okay, but other industries are still following the old FMEA practice. That's what I call it as traditional FMEA practice. Are you clear now with why I'm calling this traditional failure modes and effect? And I just type yes in the chat box. So this 2019 wala edition is not what we are covering. It is the older edition what we are covering, but still it is applicable in the industries. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Just give me yes. Everybody clear? Traditional and modern, what are the changes? Now in our masterclass archive, there is a separate session taken by one of our mentor, Amol sir. Okay. Maybe 1 year ago, a separate session was taken on what are the changes between the traditional and the modern FMEA. I would highly recommend you guys to Please go there and check out what are the difference. So he has very clearly mentioned the difference between traditional FMEA and the modern FMEA. Okay. Yes. So let's go back to our discussion. So that's about the history and that's about the. So if you see, there are 4 types of FMEA. One is called design FMEA. One is called design FMEA. Design FMEA, the name itself suggests it is performed during the design phase of the product or the process. In the design phase itself, what can go wrong? What are the risks associated with it? If that is done in the design phase itself, that is called design FMEA. The next one is called the process FMEA. Process FMEA is conducted during the manufacturing process and implementation phase while you are making, you're producing that part. So during production, what can go wrong? That is called the process FMEA, PFMEA. And in Lean Six Sigma, majorly we focus on PFMEA, majorly. Okay. But of course, we cover DFMEA as well and the other parts of FMEA as well. Then there is something called UFMEA. It aims to analyze the potential failures and malfunctioning while the usage, let's say, now understand this, okay? If you want to design a laptop, so in the design stage itself, you find out the risk associated in the design, the product, the processes. That is what it's called a design FMEA during the design phase. Then you start making the product, okay? In the manufacturing process, let's say you start making the products, and in the making process, whatever the risk associated, if you start to capture those risks, that is called process FMEA. First is design, second is process. Now the product is ready. Now the customer is started using the laptop. Like let's say, for example, I'm using the laptop. So during the usage, what can go wrong? During the usage, that is called as UFMEA or use FMEA. During the use of of the product, whatever is risk associated, that is called UFMEA. And there is the final one, which is called SFMEA, which is called service FMEA, which is assessing the potential failures and their effects on service delivery. Okay, if you are providing a service, not the product, but a service. Okay, for example, let's say training. Training is a service, right? So in the training, what kinds of failures which can happen while delivering that service? If a consultation is a service. So while delivering the consultation service, what kinds of somebody got unmuted. Make sure that you're muted all the time. Okay. Now, when service FMEA, meaning if you're delivering a service during the service, okay, what can go wrong? What can impact the customer satisfaction and overall service quality? That those failures, the potential failures in that are captured in service FMEA. So majorly our focus relies on the process FMEA, because as we all say, Lean Six Sigma is applicable wherever there is a process in place. Lean Six Sigma is applied. Okay. So we identify process failure modes and process risk, okay, by using process FMEA. Are you clear with this? Anyway, I'm going to give this entire presentation to you. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. 4 types of FMEAs, and we are going to focus upon process FMEA the most. I'll give you a couple of examples so that you can easily understand it. Okay. Initially, it might look a little tricky to understand the nomenclature and, but it's very easy. If you practically say it, very easy. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's break down this failure mode, effect, and then analysis. Okay. And associated, what you can say, vocabulary to this. Okay. So the first word here is nothing but failure. What is failure? Failure meaning simply a component or a system not meeting the functional intent. For example, the lighting system does not provide the intended illumination. Like why do we put the light? Because we want the intended illumination. Utni brightness hame chahiye. If that lightness, if that brightness is not there with the light, then it is a failure. Sometimes it even will not start. It is also failure. So whatever is the intention of that product or that service, if that is not fulfilled, that is called failure. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. This is very, very important. Are you clear? Just type yes in the chat box. Failure is if your product is failed to meet the specification requirement or intent of use, that is called a failure. Clear? Very simple explanation, simple example. Let's understand the failure modes. Okay. Let's go ahead and understand the failure mode. Now, failure is failure to meet the intention. Okay. What is failure mode then? Failure mode is the manner in which the component or the system fails. Okay. For it's the same example of lighting. Now, lighting, if I put, let's say, a bulb, okay, in the socket. So what will be the failure if that bulb is not able to deliver the intended illumination? That is a failure. And what are the different types of failure, different modes of failure? Different modes of failure are flickering. It can be flickering like this. It can be dim. It will start, but it will be very dim. It could be over bright, or it may not be switching on. And if sometimes, if not, it is switching off. So there are multiple ways that bulb can fail. So failure mode is nothing but the manner in which the failure happens. It also can be called as categories of failure. The way in which the failure happens, it's called failure mode. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear hai? Just give me yes quickly. Clear. So failure is fail to hit the specification requirement. Failure mode, the way in which the failure happens. Okay. So failure and failure mode, we have understood. Okay. Now let's go ahead and find out what are the other what you can say definitions associated. Okay. The next one is called potential cause. Now in our fishbone analysis, we learn cause and effect, right? In the fishbone analysis, we learn cause and effect. Everybody remembers cause and effect, yes or no? I hope everybody remembers fishbone. Man, machine, method, mother nature, yes? So this is the effect. And for every effect, there are causes, right? Which are categorized in man, machine, method, mother nature, material, etc. So first here, what we are doing is, whatever failure is happening, okay, what is the cause of that failure? Because every failure mode would have different cause associated. And that is called a potential cause. So how the failure could occur? So it is described in the terms of something that can be corrected or can be controlled. So how that can happen? What are the causes of it? And if, what is effect? Effect meaning, if that failure happens, what will be the adverse consequences? What will be the impact that the customer might experience due to the potential cause? This is very, very important. If that failure happens, what will be the impact that customer will face? That how much will be the impact? That is something is called as effect. So failure is failure to meet the intent. Failure mode is the way in which it can fail. Potential cause is the reason of the failure. Okay. And effect is what impact it will have on the customer. So these are the four major, what you can say, definitions we have to remember. Okay. Apart from that, there are some, three categories of, giving some ranking. Okay. Because see, whatever we do not measure, that cannot be improved or controlled. Just listen to me, very, very important. Okay. Is failure comparable to defects? Failure, yes, exactly. Failure, you can say failure is nothing but a defect. Yes, absolutely right. Okay. And failure modes are the types of defects. You can say that in a simple word, in our traditional Lean Six Sigma terminology. Okay. Now coming back to the measurement of it. See, some cases we cannot measure certain things. For example, let's say risk. How will we measure the risk? Just give me a second, okay? Now, when it comes to risk, How will we measure the risk? We can measure the risk by giving the ranking. Okay. How will we measure the difficulty? How will we measure the difficulty? We can give the ranking on the scale of 1 to 10. Yes, let's say if I give a mathematical problem to a class 5 fifth class student. Okay, and if I ask him or her, is it difficult? They will say yes, it is difficult. But somebody's difficulty and other person's difficulties are different, right? So somebody will say on the scale of 1 to 10 how difficult it is. So somebody will say it is 3 out of 10. Other person will say it is 9 out of 10. See the difference of the intensity of the difficulty. Okay. So whenever we are giving some ranking kind of a thing, then some abstract measurements also can be taken. Let's say, for example, test. Test again is an abstract measurement. Yes or no? If I give you a some dish to test, and if I ask you how is it, you'll say it's good. But what do you mean by good? Somebody say it is fantastic. Somebody will say it's great. But how great, how fantastic it is on the scale of 1 to 10. So somebody said good, maybe he or she means 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10. Somebody feels great, that means 9 out of 10. Okay. So if I give the ranking like 1 to 10, that gives us more clarity. And that's what exactly we do with severity, occurrence, and detection. Okay. So what is severity? Severity is nothing but what is the seriousness of impact. If that failure happens, what will be the seriousness of the effect of that potential failure mode? If that failure mode happens, what will be the serious impact on the customer? That is called severity on the scale of 1 to 10. We have to give the ranking. Then occurrence, how likely that will happen. Likelihood of that specific cause. Okay, that will happen. Now, I'll show you a table that will give you more clarity about it. Okay, severity rating is given to the failure mode, and occurrence and detection are given to the causes. Causes. Understand this? Okay. So how what you can say, how frequently that occurrence is happening. Okay. And detection, if that cause actually impacts, how are we what you can say, how are we equipped to capture that impact? That is called detection. Okay. So occurrence meaning how likely that will happen. What is the frequency? If it is, let's say, for example, if it is happening very, very frequently, every day 10 times, every day 100 times, that is called the occurrences on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 or 9. If it is, yes, number of times you can say. So, but that number of times we are not giving. Okay. For example, let's say if it is happening 50 times every day, that means on the scale of 1 to 10, I will give the ranking 8, 9 or 10 because it is very frequent. But if it is happening once in 6 months, I will give ranking 1, 2 or 3. Now, how that ranking is given, there is a standard given in the manual as well. I'll show you that standard as well. Okay. So occurrence meaning how frequently that is occurring. It is not the number of occurrences. Huh? It is a ranking on the scale of 1 to 10. A lot of people, it happened 5 times, so they give 5. No, it is the frequency. According to frequency, you have to give the rating of on the scale of 1 to 10. Okay. And then detection. Detection meaning, let's say, for example, imagine there is no exactly the AIAG ranking table. Okay. Now, imagine detection meaning there is some production going on, but there is no quality check. Okay. So there is no detection system. It directly goes to the customer. So the risk of detection is very, very, there is no detection system at all. Wherever the detection is not there, so the defect is very difficult to detect, right? Because there is no checking happening. So it is very difficult to detect. So I will rank it as 10. If you are taking some sample, maybe one sample in 1 hour, so I will say it's a moderate detection. I will give the risk at maybe 5 or 6. Okay. But if you have a very strong detection system, every product is checked very thoroughly, completely. So the detection risk is very, very low. So I will give even 1 or 2. Are you understanding? This is way, see, so detection meaning what? If your system is very strong in detection, okay, your risk is reducing. Are you understanding? Strong detection system, low risk. So I will give 1 or 2. Okay. Moderate detection system, moderate risk, I will give 5 or 6. Very limited or no detection system, the risk is very high. So I will give the number of detection, difficulty detection is 10. Are you clear? Yes, current control. Exactly. The detection is the current control. What current control mechanism we have? Let's say in my society, there is no watchman. How much ranking I will give? There is no watchman, no CCTV camera. What will be the ranking for the risk right now? Type in the chat box. There is no security watchman. There is no CCTV available. What will be the risk on the scale of 1 to 10? Yes, 9 to 10. Are you clear? Very simple. Yes. Okay. And if we have very high-tech security camera and the 2 watchmen at every door with guns with them, etc., etc. So the detection of any security threat is very, very good. So the risk is very low. So I will give 1. Instead of, on the scale of 1 to 10, I'll give 1 because the risk is very low of any, somebody intruding the system because we have a very strong security system established. Okay. Exactly how equipped the system is. So these are the rankings we give in the FMEA table. I'll show you a practical couple of cases so that you will understand this. Okay. So then what we do, once we give the ranking like this, then we identify risk priority number. Okay, which is called RPN, risk priority number, which is multiplication of severity number, occurrence number, and detection number. Severity, occurrence, and detection. We multiply this, that becomes RPN, risk priority number. So that defines how much is the risk associated with that failure mode and the cause. And what is our priority? Are you clear? So this is then the multiplication happens. So what are the FMEA steps to conduct FMEA? First of all, list the intended function you want to, and step of the process. Now, let's say there is a tea making process. Okay. There is a tea making process. Tea making process. So now so for first step is list down all the steps in the process. In define phase, we have one tool which is used where all the steps are properly mapped. What is the name of the tool? Can you just type in the chat box? In define phase itself, we have the tool established. What is the name of the tool? Can somebody tell me? What is the name of the tool in define phase? Flowchart, okay, close, but it's not flowchart. CTQ tree, no. Yes, it's SIPOC. It's SIPOC. Supplier process input, output, and customer. If you remember, in that P stands for process. So where we have all the process step list. Okay. Everybody just make a note of this. It is the name of the tool is called SIPOC. Supplier input, process, output, and customer. In that, the center column is called process. So we have all the processes listed there. That's the first step. Okay. Then the second step is for each and every step, identify all the potential item and interface failure modes. Okay. For example, let's say the first step of making cup of tea is boil the water. Okay. Now, in boiling the water, what are the potential failure modes? How boiling the water can fail? For example, let's say you don't have the gas that day. So, or the gas is there, but the intensity of the gas is very low, a very low flame. So it is not boiling properly. So the way in which the failure is happening, or you don't have the lighter basically to start, okay, which can delay the boiling process. All right. So or maybe the water which is used, may not be properly, there might be some more ppm, so it might impact the boiling. I'm just guessing some more. So the way in which that process will fail, that is called failure mode. So in the process step number 1, let's say I want to walk across the aisle, I want to walk across the road. What are the ways in which I can fail to reach on the other end? I can trip, I can fall down, I can slip because of a banana peel, I can slip because of a oil spillage on the road. There are multiple ways in which I can fail to reach the destination, which is across the road. So these are various failure modes. Okay. Similarly, first you list down the steps, then what are the failure modes in that? Third one is, then for each failure mode, okay, what are the potential consequences? That is called severity. Identify what is the effect, what is the sequence, or what is the consequence which will impact. Let's say, for example, if I, while walking, if I slip on the banana peel, I can fall back on my head. It can impact on my, back of the head. Okay. So what worst potential consequences can happen? You can give that impact. Okay. And then, and give the ranking of the severity as well on the scale of 1 to 10. Then you determine what is the likelihood of occurrence, how frequently that can happen. Okay. So that can be given the occurrence rating on the scale of 1 to 10. And after that, identify the failure detection method. What is the detection mechanism available in your system? That becomes a detection number. And then you multiply this to severity, occurrence, and detection to find out the RPN, which is risk priority number. So these are the steps. First, list down the steps, process steps. Second, for every step, what is the failure mode? For every failure mode, what is the consequences, which is severity, the likelihood of occurrence, and the detection. So let me give you a practical example of this. Before that, after doing RPN, what happens is this. Then determine the compensating provision for each failure mode. So we don't only stop at the RPN number, but we identify what can be done to avoid that. What can be done to reduce that risk. Okay. Then identify the corrective design, corrective actions. Corrective actions we basically identify. We identify the effect of the corrective action, what positive effect we can expect. And then identify severity, occurrence, detectability risks. So if we implement the corrective action, corrective measures, what will be the new, the numbers of severity, occurrence, and detectability? Okay, that also can be done. So the after RPN also can be identified. The actual point is that the present RPN and after RPN should be reduced. The risk should be reduced. Okay. And then we summarize this document, okay, and hand it over to the process people so that they can follow this, religiously. So this is how this entire process works. Let me show you a couple of examples that will give you. So this is the rating guideline. Just to give you example, let's say severity. Okay. When it comes to severity, the severity rating 1 meaning what? It is a minor severe. Customer won't notice the effect. I'm talking about a severity rating. Okay. Customer will not even notice the effect of it. Very insignificant. That is called 1 on the scale of 1 to 10. 1 meaning. 2 meaning customer will notice the effect. Customer ko thoda sa effect samajh mein aayega. That is severity 2. Okay. Now severity 3 meaning customer will become irritated at reduced performance. Let's say, for example, in this pen, let's say, the nib of the pen is not functioning. There is a slight problem in the nib. If customer is not able to identify, it is minor severity. If customer is able to identify, it is on the scale of 2. If customer, because of that small irritating this, he or she becomes irritated, because of the reduced performance, that is 3. So similarly, the severity, occurrence, and detectability ranking area. Then let me show you what is severity 10 meaning. So severity 10 meaning catastrophic. Customer or employee endangered without warning. So it can be fatal injury or death as well in some cases. Okay. or it can be violation of law or regulation. It can be domestic or international law or regulatory violation. If it is happening, then it is 10 out of 10 severity. Okay. What is 9 out of 10? Customer or employee safety compromise. That means a injury, a physical injury can happen. Okay. Or regulatory compliance is questionable. Whenever authority can question, a regulatory authority can question on this, that can be 9 out of 10. Okay. So you can just take help of these guidelines so that ranking becomes easier. All right. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. It is given in your presentation. You can refer that. So occurrence ke liye when I say 10, that means the failure nearly always happening. That is called 10 out of 10. Okay. Common failures are 9 out of 10. Undocumented but high failure rate is 8 out of 10. Similarly, there is a guideline given. Okay. Now let me just go to a practical case. There are a couple of cases I will take here. One is a laboratory, a pathology lab case, and there is one a training in the industry, because we coming from the training industry, we always do a FMEA in our industry, and we make a checklist as well. Okay, so assessment of severity, is this internal process, or do we take voice of customer point of time? No, actually this is an internal thing. Okay, because what we are doing is we are actually reducing the risk of our internal process. That's why we have to identify the associated risk. And of course, we can take the feedback from the customer as well. All right. While giving the, let's say, while finding out the effect, of course, we can identify the effect and we can take some feedback from the customer as well, just to give the numbers. But it is internally done only. Okay. Yes, it is a team. The FMEA team who decide this. Now, who are the FMEA team? Let's say the project, let's say Lean Six Sigma project team members. They will make this FMEA sheet for their project. Okay. If you're doing it for that particular product. So there'll be stakeholders, like there'll be quality person, there'll be production person, design person. So all these people come together and give this ranking. All right. Yes. So let's understand this. What is, let's take an example of this. Okay, a Six Sigma team was charged with reducing lab turnaround time. There was a, there was a pathology lab, and the project what they have taken was to reduce the turnaround time. Understand this? Okay, a simple project, reducing turnaround time of the lab. That means, what is turnaround time? Turnaround time meaning the moment the doctor has given the prescription to do some, the blood checking or some test, right? And from that point, the reports, okay, coming to the doctor. So this entire time is called turnaround time. So they identify certain risk, okay? So they bounded this entire process. Patient arrives with the requisition, that is, doctor's requisition is there with the patient, and the results are sent to the referring physician. So these two processes, first process and the last process, whatever happens in between, this is the scope of the project. Okay. So in preparation of the data collection on the process, the team conducted an FMEA. So this is a very small example, I've given here. Let's try to understand. It's a simple example. Look at this. So the step is here. Step number one. Step number one is patient gives requisition. That's the first step. Okay. Now, so what is the potential failure mode? Patient comes and then, okay, I forgot the requisition or don't have the requisition. So that's the first failure mode, right? So that will impact the time again. So return to lab. So potential effect is what? You have to send that patient back from the lab and get the requisition again. Okay. So what is the severity? The team has given the severity 7, because again, it is just patient is going back and it is not, it is impacting the timeline. Okay. That's what severity is 7 and not 10. Okay. Then the potential cause is what? What could be the potential cause? Why the patient is not carried the requisition? Because the instruction may not be given clearly to the patient. that while going to the lab, you have to carry the instruction slip, okay, or the requisition slip. So if the instruction is not clear, what is the occurrence of this happening? 3 on the scale of 1 to 10. The team has given 3. So it is not very highest occurring event. Sometimes it happens. Okay. What is the current control? Do we have any current control as a lab? Do we have any current control on patient taking, the requisition? The answer is absolutely no. There is no control of the laboratory while patient is coming, who is carrying the requisition or not. So they have given detection at 10 out of 10. There is no detection system whether the patient who is coming in the lab is having the requisition or not. Okay. So then they multiply 7 into 3 into 10 is 210. That becomes RPN, risk priority number. Are you clear with this one example? Just type yes in the chat box. Clear hai? First example is clear. Patient is arriving in the laboratory. Right from that step, they have identified what is the first failure which can happen. Patient के पास requisition form ही नहीं है. Okay. Then what is the effect? Patient को वापस जाना पड़ेगा. He has to be sent back. So severity 7. Obviously, his intention is not fulfilled. So severity 7. Instruction is not clear. What is the cause? Instruction is not clear. Occurrence is very rare. It is not rare basically. It is not very frequently occurring. So they have given 3 out of 10. And then there is no control. That's why they have given 10 out for the detection. Okay. The severity is based on the failure mode. So severity is of the effect. No? Severity, how severe will be the effect? If the requisition is not there, what impact it can have? Okay, if that failure mode happens, this is the effect, right? So severity is for the effect. How severe will be the effect? That is called severity. Okay. Now let's take a second example. Specimen is collected. Specimen to be collected. Let's say they are asked to take a, let's say, urine sample or a blood sample. So once the patient comes, the sample has to be collected, either urine or blood or whatever, saliva, whatever it is, right? Then what is another failure mode is put in the wrong container. Put in wrong container. मतलब वो container जो होना चाहिए था. Then why detection is at 10? Now see, understand this, Preeti. Why detection is 10? What is detection? Let's try to understand this. Detection meaning, as a laboratory, imagine you are the manager of the laboratory. Okay. Do you have any control over the patients who are arriving in the laboratory with the requisition or not? Do we have any control? Give me yes or no in the chat box. You are the manager of the laboratory, so you have zero control. Whenever there is a zero control, that means there is no detection system mechanism. Okay. If imagine there is a system of a proper, let's say, proper appointment system where the patient is calling the laboratory that I want an appointment and I want to test my blood. Okay. So in that case, you would give them the instruction that while coming, okay, you have to come at 11 a.m. You don't have to eat. You don't have to drink for, last 12 hours. Okay. Those are the instructions. And please carry your requisition. In that case, you have a mechanism in place. But a person who is randomly walking into your laboratory, you don't have any detection. So whenever we don't have any detection, then it is 10 out of 10 on the detection scale. Okay. Detection is, yeah. So detection meaning, I would say it is difficulty to detect. So instead of detection, I would give the name difficulty to detect. That will make it a little better. Difficulty to detect. Okay. So difficulty to detect meaning, if it is difficult to detect, I will give 10. If it is easy to detect, I will give lower rating. Are you clear? Detect meaning pakadna. Just like if a quality defect is coming, there is a quality checkpoint and you are capturing that quality checkpoint. If you have a very strong, let's say, and if you have a quality checkpoint and you are doing 100% quality check, so you have a very strong detection system. Whenever we have strong detection system, the risk is very low. See, FMEA is a risk assessment program. It's a risk assessment tool. We are assessing the risk here. Now, if there is a 100% quality check, the risk is very low. I will give 1 out of 10 risk. But there is no checking at all. It is directly going to the customer. I will give 10 out of 10 difficulty to detect because there is no detection mechanism present. Yes? Yes, exactly, Preeti. Absolutely right. You are absolutely right. It's a risk. If the detection is not there, it is 10. If detection is very strong, 100%, it is 1. And if you're in between, you have to give according to the ranking. Okay? Yeah, the risk is maximum. Exactly. Now, coming back to the specimen is collected, wrong container. So again, return to the lab because the wrong container is there. Again, the severity remains 7 because it will not be tested again. Then what is the cause of using the wrong container? Because of the new technicians. Okay, and what is the occurrence at that point in time when the ranking was given? It was 7 out of 10. It was very highly frequently occurring event that the new technicians are there. Maybe that laboratory was having a lot of new technicians, inexperienced technicians. So they are making some human errors like this. And that's why the team at that point in time has given the occurrence 7 out of 10, which is almost very high ranking. Okay. Then what is the current control right now is orientation before actual work. So there right now the current control kya hai? They give the orientation program to the new technicians so that they will avoid these kinds of risk. Okay. And because according to them, we have a good control mechanism, their detection risk is a little lesser than the earlier one. Okay. So they have given 3 out of 10. So which is on the scale of 1 to 10. So 7 into 7 into 3, which is 147. So similarly, they identify each and every step, what are the failure modes, and then severity, occurrence, detection numbers are given, and the risk priority number scores are identified. Are you clear? Just type yes in the chat box. In the cannot be considered as a ultimate cause. So obviously, the human error cannot be considered as a ultimate cause when your organization is a little advanced. Okay, I have seen. See, you will be surprised to know. You will agree with this point. Okay, still in Indian industries. Okay, a lot of Indian industries, because every day I go in the industries for training, coaching, consulting, etc. Even though whenever the problem occurs, the first question is asked is who? Who? How many of you are agreeing with this point? Still in today's industries, the first question is asked as who was there on the machine, on the process, at that time? Who is the first? That shows the maturity level of the organization. Our still focus is on the human error and man. And we are never asked the question about what is the process failure, what is the system failure, what is the material failure, what is the measurement failure. No, we ask the question who was there, who made the mistake. Everything does not happen because of who, and that is where, okay, still a lot of people consider human error is one of the, this one. Okay. How can set the RPN number? So RPN number is multiplication of severity, occurrence, and detection. Okay, 7 into 3 into detection number. And while setting these numbers, the guidelines are already given, as I showed you earlier, right? These guidelines you can refer. Those guidelines are already given in the AIAG manuals as well. See, these are the guidelines. How you should basically rank this. Okay. See, these are just for reference. These are just for references. Okay, understand this, right? Exactly. 37 years experience. So this is what still see our industry is still not achieved that maturity level. See, some of the organizations, guys, okay, some of the organizations have eliminated the fishbone analysis. They have eliminated the bone of man. Okay, they have eliminated that. So they have achieved that maturity level. Okay. Found out occurrence, we need some comeback. Okay. If required, then what can we have rating to NPD part? Number is okay. Okay, so RPN number okay, meaning 125 and above. 125 and above, we have to take, and whichever severity 10, we have to immediately take action. 8, 9, 10, more severe, take action. RPN 125 above, take action. Okay, that's how we should take immediate action. Okay, just a second. I'll just come to another, what you can say, example, and then I will open this for question answer. Okay, there is another example I'm just sharing. Just a simple example of a, what you can say. Yeah, this is a simple example of a guest lecture arrangement. Okay, like we arrange the training program. So this is a process step, guest lecture arrangement. Potential failure mode is guest may arrive late. Okay, is it visible to you guys? Maybe let me just increase a little. Okay, so potential failure is guest may arrive late. What is the effect of the failure? Schedule may disturb. Severity will be 7. Okay. Then incomplete content, again 7 to 8. What is the potential cause? Because it may be because of heavy traffic. Okay. Occurrence, the team has given 9 out of 10. Multiple times this might have happened with them. So 9 out of 10 occurrence. Difficulty to detect. No mechanism right now. There is no mechanism to detect, while the person is coming on what time. Okay. So they have given 10 detection score. So RPN is 7 into 9 into 10 is equal to 630. Okay. So after RPN, what needs to be done is this. Then you find out the corrective action. So what corrective action they have taken is, yes, absolutely right. So what corrective action? Stay arrangement near the venue. Even though whatever happens, in the worst case scenario, the faculty should even walk across 5 minutes and reach the venue. That kind of arrangement should have been done. Okay. Then you have to give this accountability task to somebody and find out. So staying arrangement to be, booking has to be done nearby hotel. That is a task. And responsible person will be whoever is the HR person or, L&D person. Then target completion date is there. Then what happens to the severity, occurrence, and detection? What will happen? Severity will remain same, because if the person comes late, it will be 7 out of 10 only. Occurrence will become reduced, because if he is very nearby, it is highly, unlikely he will reach late. And detection, maybe we can, maybe we can put a, like Kaleti said, that Google Map we can use, or we can use some new system, mobile system, like early morning, there will be a call from the L&D department that, good morning, sir. Are you ready for the program? At what time you are starting, etc., etc. So that there will be a check and balance for the faculty, so that faculty also will be in touch, and there will not be surprise, so that they will be informed. If any, what you can say, miscalculation, they can easily compensate that. Okay. So severity, occurrence, detection, the letter number will be 42 multiplication 7, 3, and 2 becomes 42. So they have reduced the RPN number by taking the small correction. Okay. I'll give you another example here, which is, let's say, mic not working. The training has started, but mic not working. So student will not be able to hear. Severity will be 9 out of 10, which is it is very severe, because if they're not able to hear, training will not be successful. So what is the potential cause? Battery is dead. It's a dead battery. Okay. And so occurrence is 6 out of 10 on the scale of 1 to 10. No mechanism to detect. At this point in time, there is no mechanism to detect. So detection system is not there. So 10, they have given the ranking. Okay. So you have to multiply 9 into 6 into 10. Kitna hota hai 9 into 6 into 10? 54, 540, right? 540. Okay. So 540 would be RPN. And then what is the corrective measure? You take a backup mic. You take a backup mic and a spare batteries, right? So you already prepare a backup mic and a spare batteries. So you give the task, this accountability, the task and accountability has to be given to somebody, and with a target date. And then you have to again do the severity, occurrence, and detection. Severity will remain same, because if the battery is not functional, severity will remain same. But occurrence and detection will reduce drastically because of these measures. Right now you are checking the mic, you are checking the batteries, etc. And because of that, the severity and occurrence, the occurrence and detection will drop down, and RPN will substantially drop down. Okay. So these are a couple of examples for FMEA practically. Are you clear? Just type yes in the chat box. With simple examples. Super clear? Very good. Very good. Amazing. Now, so NPD process mein na, Swapnali, the process is a little different. Okay. That's why the design FMEA comes into picture. Okay. NPD process mein new development, new product development mein na, as I mentioned to design FMEA, if you remember, there are different types of FMEA I mentioned, right? This is normally what we do in the processes, right? But in the new product development, we go for, design FMEA and not the process FMEA. Okay. So there, the systems are a little different than this. The fundamental remains same, but a different, there are some fundamental differences as well. Mark critical characteristics and satisfactory. Yes. That's what Swaraj just mentioned, that this one is a traditional FMEA and not the modern FMEA. In the initial, if I think you've joined late, I mentioned the difference between the traditional FMEA and modern FMEA. If you want to check the modern FMEA, the difference between the older AIAG manual, the 4th edition, and the latest 2019 5th edition of AIAG and VDA combined, then there is a special session taken by Amol sir in our community. Amol Duduskar sir. He has taken a special session on FMEA, the old and the new version. What are the differences? It is available in our masterclass archive. I would highly recommend you guys to please check out, that session. Okay. Yes. Any other question which is unanswered, please let me know in the chat box, and I will answer that question. Recording will be available in masterclass archive in some time from now, and you can download the presentation which I have given you. It will be stored below the recording, so you can download the presentation for your reference. Okay. Yes. Any question which is not answered, please let me know. And all the new members, please, I hope you have got the login ID and password. And this is the number you got to store. All right. New PFMEA format. Let me check if I have that format right now with me. I can share that in the masterclass archive. Okay. Send the session link in WhatsApp group. See, there are 3 ways you are getting the session links right now. One is the WhatsApp number on your WhatsApp number. So everybody, jinko WhatsApp, how many people are not receiving WhatsApp messages? Just type me in the chat box. How many people are not receiving WhatsApp messages? Just type me in the chat box. Okay. So just do one thing. This number, now whatever I've given, 99305 number. Okay. If you don't have that, just store that. If you already have that number, delete that number and store it once again. Okay. Now, all of you are basically in one WhatsApp community. Okay. And in the WhatsApp community, we send the broadcast to the community so that we have, almost 4,000 to 5,000 students. So all 4,000 to 5,000 students get that. Okay. If the number is not stored, then you will not be able to get it. Okay. So please do it. And after that, in our LMS system, there is a community tab. In our LMS system, there is a community tab. So every session's link, live sessions links will be available in the community tab. Everybody, every session link will be available in the community tab. Okay. Yes, just make a note of this. Along with that, there is one email ID, which is admin@sparrangevin.com. Now, these emails, please find out in your spam and promotion folder. Please please locate these emails and switch them to the inbox so that you will start receiving the messages regularly. Community group only 9 p.m. session sent, is it? No, 9 p.m. का तो session का send ही नहीं हुआ है community tab में. Community tab is different. Community tab is in the LMS system में. In our LMS system, you have all courses and all those things, na? Blogs and all courses, login. So there we have a community tab. If you click on community tab, then you will find there are today's session links available. In the website, you should start course number 1. Okay, course number 1, which is Green Belt. I'll show you a quick glimpse of it. All the new members for you guys. All the new members should start once you log into LMS system. I'll just share my screen. This is the course number 1. You have to basically start. Course 1, which is Green Belt. Course 2 is Black Belt. Course 3 is Master Black Belt. Okay. So course 1 is Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certification from Sparran and Gavin, CSSC accredited. This is the course we have to start. These are small video lectures. Start consuming these video lectures. Take the notes along with that. Okay. See, there are sample notes also we are given. Please prepare your own notes. Sample has been given here. You can see here. A lot of people are asking what kinds of notes have to be prepared. These are the sample notes. See, notes are for you only, for your reference. Okay. You can use your notes during the examination as well because it's an open book test. You can use them. And some sample notes are here. You can click on start and you can check out some sample notes are given. Okay. Already replied today on the community group regarding 7:30 p.m. Okay, we will check that. We will check that, Prem Shankar. And if there is some discrepancy, we'll correct that as well. Okay. Clear, everybody? Superb. So that's it from my side. On Saturday, we'll connect again with a different topic. We'll go deeper. And till the time, keep learning, keep growing. This is Dinesh Patil signing off. Bye-bye. Take care. Good night. Yes, we can do that. Nitinji, we can do that analysis, HIRA analysis as well. Yeah.